We're talking artificial intelligence. For the first time ever, Oregon has a person in charge of how AI is used within state government and deciding when it is and is not ethical. It's our big story tonight.
What's the appropriate and ethical use of AI?
Okay, that is a big question and one that Nik Blosser is tasked with solving as Oregon's first ever chief privacy officer and AI strategist. So what exactly do those job titles entail? Well, I sat down with him this week to find out.
Artificial intelligence is a relatively new technology that is widely popular now, and the state wants to use it in safe and responsible ways. And so one of my jobs is to determine the policies by which state agencies like the DMV or Medicaid can use AI to improve the way they offer services to the public.
So you may be wondering, who is Nik Blosser and why is he the guy in charge of crafting the state's AI strategy? His family is in the wine business. He grew up on a winery and ran a software company before he was former Governor Kate Brown's chief of staff. Now, his time working in the governor's office, he says, is what prepared him for this new role that he started about 2.5 months ago.
You really get a view of what all the leaders of agencies want to do. And I took a sort of special interest at that point in supporting the governor with IT investments at the time. The state has a number of very old systems that need modernization, and so certainly that was something that we were working on then, and AI now has the opportunity to really help.
So he says AI can affect every state agency and how they deliver services to you, the public. Everything from fishing and hunting licenses, making a reservation at a state park, the DMV, you name it.
So I'm just really excited about helping state employees be more successful, be more efficient, and deliver better services to the public.
So for people who don't understand, let's take that example of making a reservation at a state park.
Sure.
How would AI be used in that process?
So I should sort of back up and say today what we're trying to do is just give state employees access to, right now they have access to Copilot, which is like ChatGPT, a tool that they can use just to help them in their day-to-day life. And that's great. Not every state has state employees that have access to that tool, so that's really great. Now we're starting to move into more sophisticated or advanced tools. And let me give you, I think the best example might be for Medicaid. So Medicaid's the health program. I think over 1 million Oregonians have it. Also SNAP, which has been in the news lately, food vouchers. And so if you want to know if you're eligible, you call the state, and there's about 1,000 employees who determine that eligibility. They now have an internal chat tool where if someone has a complicated question, they can ask the chat bot, and it can give them the response right away with a citation, and it allows them to resolve that question much faster.
Do you foresee in the future this using AI in that way that you just described, making those, say, 1,000 jobs of people answering the phones obsolete?
Actually, not at all. What's interesting is with recent legislation in Congress, it basically puts, I'll say, 4 times the amount of paperwork. People have to sort of file information on there's work requirements now for Medicaid, and they have to redo their eligibility every 6 months. So you basically have 4 times the paperwork with the same number of employees. And maybe the only way to do that is with the assistance of AI.
So it's just streamlining their work.
I think it's streamlining efficiency and really supporting them so that maybe some of the more mundane administrative tasks are faster and they can do sort of the higher functioning tasks that AI can't do.
Blosser will be creating statewide rules for which agencies will use AI and what that will look like. He gave this example. Okay, say you work for the state and you draft a document. You could have AI review it and give you feedback before submitting it, but asking AI to create it from scratch and then just hitting send, that Blosser says should never be done.
Because one of the main principles that we have at the state is to have a human in the loop, we call it. When you use AI and it generates content, at some point in that process, a human has to review what was done before it gets sent out into the world.
Okay, great. But how will the state enforce that? What will stop people from having AI just do their work for them?
That's really what keeps me up at night, is trying to think about human nature. And like I said, it's less the technical issue and more human nature, and how do you, I don't know yet how to enforce that. I think it's a tricky problem.
So I asked him if AI will start making any kind of policy decisions and if Oregonians will have the right to appeal or challenge them.
Right now, in our guidance, AI cannot make decisions, period. I think if, this goes back to that risk assessment, if an agency is proposing, and they haven't yet, but if an agency were to propose that AI would make a decision of any kind, there would be enormous guardrails around that we haven't even developed.
Okay, now it's your turn. Talk to us. What do you think about the state of Oregon moving forward with using AI? Did anything Nik Blosser say stand out to you? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. And if you want to hear more from Blosser about his brand new role, check out Straight Talk this weekend right here on KGW. You can also catch it Monday night at 7 o'clock right after the story, or anytime on our TV app, KGW+. Okay, it's worth noting that how states handle and regulate AI is catching the attention of President Trump and some congressional Republicans. Several different headlines this week regarding a possible executive order ordering Pam Bondi and the DOJ to sue states trying to regulate AI. Reuters reporting today that idea is being delayed, but there could be something included in the upcoming National Defense Authorization Act related to the feds cracking down on states wanting to limit AI. So the president sees some of the state regulations as restricting the economic possibilities of artificial intelligence, though many in Congress have publicly said that limiting how states can regulate AI is basically a power grab for big tech. So we asked Blosser for his thoughts on the feds getting involved.
I'm really focused right now internally on state agencies and delivery of state services, not on state policy. I know California and Colorado have passed laws, and so right now I'm just watching them and talking with the companies about what they think.